Birthright citizenship isn't going anywhere. Welcome to Law and Society. Please subscribe and let's briefly talk about it. So, in the context of immigration and in the context of who is an American citizen or what the immigration status is of people, Donald Trump and his allies have talked about uh, changing birthright citizenship or doing away with birthright citizenship. Well, you cannot do away with a constitutional provision just like that. A president of the United States doesn't have a power to change the Constitution of the United States. Simply put, because Article 5 of the Constitution provides how amendments to the Constitution are changed. And it also makes clear that amendments to the Constitution, for all intents and purposes, is part of the Constitution. So when Donald Trump talks about changing birthright citizenship, that means he wants to alter and amend the 14th Amendment and the first section of the 14th Amendment. And the pertinent part of the first section of the 14th Amendment reads as such: all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. So it's quite clear that if you are born or naturalized in the United States, one way of being a citizen is by being born in the United States, and second is if you are naturalized. In the instance of being born, there are some exceptions where it says subject to the jurisdiction thereof, which applies to, say, children born to diplomats or children who are part of the Native American tribes, or to there's children born of alien enemies in hostile occupation. So these are some exceptions. But if you are born in the United States, even if your parents are not American citizens, even if their status is undocumented, they're not born of alien enemies in hostile occupation because there's no war happening. They are undocumented. So, but since you were born, if you were born in the United States, the 14th Amendment, Section 1 gives you the right of birthright citizenship that nobody can take away. Now, Donald Trump has said that he wants to do away with birthright citizenship. Well, if he were to go about doing that, Article 5 provides that the Congress, whenever 2/3 of both houses shall deem it necessary, shall propose amendments to this Constitution, or on the application of the legislatures of 2/3 of the several states, shall call a convention for proposing amendments, in which in either case shall be valid to all intents and purposes as part of this Constitution, when ratified by the legislatures of 3/4 of the several states, or by convention in 3/4 thereof, as one or the other mode of ratification may be proposed by Congress. So that is the way, that is the process for you to make a constitutional amendment, which is what Donald Trump and his allies would have to do. They have to first get 2/3 of the legislature or 2/3 of states' legislatures to propose the amendments. Then he has to get it ratified by 3/4 of the state legislatures or 3/4 of the convention in each of the states. So it's a tall, tall order to change the Constitution. And they can go ahead and try, but I don't see where Donald Trump and MAGA will come up with 3/4 of the states saying that it's okay to do away with birthright citizenship. So I have provided the references that I have looked at on constitution.congress.gov, and I'll add those references to the video description below. Click on them, read what the essays are about them, because people have spent their time and their expertise, and their job is to be able to make this accessible to Americans. And so with the help of the internet, we can do that now. So I urge you to, take a look at it, read it for yourself. If there are questions, please put it in my comment box. I will do my best to answer. I am not a scholar in this field. I'm a student of constitutional law, and I love our Constitution, the way it's written, how every sentence, every word where it's placed, every comma has some meaning, and we have to interpret it as we move forward as a country. The Supreme Court will help, the Supreme Court will hurt, and we will adopt legislation and it will be passed or it won't be passed. I mean, that's the mess of a democracy. But that's what we have to live with. And if Donald Trump and MAGA wishes to upend the constitutional order, that would be very difficult to do. I don't know if it's impossible to do, because you never know what happens with the Supreme Court deciding, that maybe the president can change. I don't think that that's possible. That's not reviewable by the Supreme Court, what's enunciated and not amended in the Constitution. And Article 5 has never been amended. So, with that said, thank you so much for being here. I'm not going to read you any more portions of it. I'll leave the links so you can go and read about them. And I urge you to read and learn more about your Constitution. This is the time for it. Thank you, everybody. Please like and subscribe.